Okay. All right. So guys, what I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do right now is just have some time just to answer some questions that you guys have, right? If you guys have any specific questions to ask, right? So I know we're going to talk about some other stuff like valuation and everything later, but if you have any questions, right, about what we talked about earlier today, right? So best, of course, if you attended, I think some of you didn't manage to attend, so that's pity, right? That some of you were a bit late and all, but hey, if you have any questions from what I shared in the first half, right, let me know, and we're going to get started, right? So this is a valuable time, guys, for you guys to ask questions, right? And yeah, so let's go, man. Well, I think more people are starting to join. Okay. All right, so any questions? I'm going to get started. Okay, let me just share my screen. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do this better already. Okay. All right. Okay. So, guys, right, while waiting for latecomers to come in, yeah, let me know what questions you guys have, and I'll get started, right? If not, I'll just be chilling and doing nothing. All right. Okay, I don't think I need to share the screen first. Yeah, let me know. For banks, so for banks, right? For banks, for me, right? For banks, it's okay. We don't really use this methodology for banks. So thanks for pointing that out, LS, right? We don't usually look at banks, right? We look at some other stuff like net interest margin and everything, right? So for banks, right, you don't have to use this criteria, right? And of course, because why for banks, right, is their whole business is about debt, right? So what I look at is things like net interest margin and whatnot. But for me, like I think something very simple, right? For Singapore, let's say I'm doing banks for Singapore, right? I'm just doing it by looking at the top 3 banks in Singapore, right? And just check their figures. But banks is not something that I really look at, right? For me, right? So the only banks I look at is the DBS, OCBC, BO, like JP Morgan, all this yet. But interestingly, it's not in the area that I really want to invest in. Somehow, I know Mary Buffett loves banks, but it's something that I personally don't do it. Why? It's because like the Fed can announce one thing, Trump can say one thing, and the banks go like haywire. So I don't like it. I rather invest in companies that I know can grow over the long run, if you know what I mean, right? For REITs is a whole other beast altogether, right? So for REITs, it's more for Singapore companies and all, right? But I will look at I'll use the same fundamentals for this. I'll look at the same fundamentals. But one thing I'll look at is the dividend yield as well. So I'll talk more about valuation later. All right. Wilson is a course, is online course. Yes, 22nd, 24th, you have the online recordings as well, right? And that's freaking awesome, right? Last time we didn't give it, right? But now we do. Okay. Right, any other questions, guys? All right. What's your Facebook page to follow? Can someone help me type it? Whoops. I think you can follow. Are you my Facebook group? You know, Facebook group, you can. I think it's this, man. Is ETFs a good start for beginners? Absolutely, right? We'll talk a bit about ETFs later. ETFs is a great start for beginners, man. If you want to invest and sleep soundly at night, right? Can you share us the methodology, right? Banks, I don't really talk about it, man, right? Because as in, it's not something that I've really actively researched, right, in the whole banking industry. So I can't really comment much on it. All right. Thanks, Kenny. Right. But one thing, right, is I just try to invest in banks that are too big to fail, man. Too big to fail. So like JP Morgan for sure, DBS for sure. Then I'm done. Shirley, like I think you're asking for OMI, the live and online, right? It should be similar, but live class is you actually get a lot more like implementable. You get to actually carry out the platform and everything, right? And at the same time, because online class, most of you all went through it, obviously you can go a bit more advanced, right? If you know what I mean. So that's for the live class, right? That's for the live class. My pleasure, right? Any more questions before I get started, right? 134. Oh, okay, we still have more people waiting. For PG, right, defensive stock, think of products. They're a thing, but when you analyze the company, Vera, if that's the case, then you do have to invest in PG, man. If the numbers don't look good to you and you're not, your conviction of the company is not strong enough, and then you don't have to invest in PG, right? PG, that's the case. Let's look at PG together. Let's look at PG, right? PG stock, Morningstar. Right? Right. Okay. Let me just admit a few more things. So PG. We'll look at PG later. Okay. We'll look at PG later. All right. But yeah, if you're not comfortable, that's fine as well. Right. How do you identify potentially cyclical stocks from the financial statements? Right. Janice, for me, right, to identify potentially cyclical stocks, I look more at analyzing the company itself. I don't go look at the numbers, right, for it. I look more at the companies itself to see what are the potential cyclical companies, right? Because the numbers might be say one thing, but I look at the story. So for example, to me, a company like a semiconductor space, right, it's going to be cyclical because sometimes there's going to be more demand for devices, sometimes there's going to be less and all. So that's what I do. Right? I'll go share more about portfolio management later, Ting Yang. Right? Okay. Okay, any more questions, guys? What's your initial capital? So I started with about so I was actually saving money to buy a tuba, right? So I'm from the band, I'm from the school military band, right? And I really enjoyed, right? People actually call me the band geek in the past, actually, right? And so what happened, right, is that I was saving money during army, right, to buy a tuba, right? So that's about $9,000, right? But I think after, during my time in army, right, I started getting exposed into NLP, I started getting exposed to investing business, right? I was like, alamak, I don't want to go buy a tuba anymore, man. I want to do more stuff, right? I really laugh at them, you know, I really laugh, right? And what I did is, right, I basically, I used the money to buy, in the end, I used the money for two things, right? The 9K and whatever, right? Firstly, to actually go into USA, right? To go to USA, I will have a backpacking trip for myself and everything, right? So that's number one. And then number two, I use it for investing. So I started with about 3K, right? Started about 3K or so, right? And yeah, so that's how much I started with, man. But you don't have to, so if you're starting with less, right, totally fine, man. But I'll talk to you more about how I would start from scratch right now, if I'm you guys, okay? Right, that's just my take, all right? Okay. Joshua, you look sleepy, alamak. Okay, right, any more? The numbers could be, it could be, man, but that's when you have to start studying the company, Vera, right? But very simply, do I feel that P&G will do well? Yeah, they'll still do well, man. But okay, let's look at P&G together, okay? Okay. Let's look at Morningstar, right? So we look at Morningstar, same thing. Yeah, I'll share more about my story. Let's say blue chip is fine if you like the financials, but remember what I shared in the first half? Don't, just because it's blue chip, you can automatically buy it. That's pretty dangerous. We recommend others to pay off school loans. I would generally say, obviously, if there's interest rates and everything, if it's 0%, right, then you don't have to, you can like so-called what I call a delay paying off the loans, right? If it's 0% interest rate for sure. If there's interest rate, right, then I'm not a financial planner, so I cannot really help you structure and everything. But for me, I guess I would prefer paying off the loans first, right? But if I can, what I can to defer payments while paying as low as the interest, I would do it personally, right? If you know what I mean, right? But I'm so sure I'm not a financial planner, Lynette, so I can't really answer for that. Right? So one thing, Salah, I think I keep clicking wrong. Alamak. Okay. So one thing people think is that I'm actually very strong in personal finance, which I'm not that good. I'm not saying I'm not that knowledgeable. So I really leave my personal finance stuff, like in terms of how much do I pay for accidents, everything, to my financial planner, man. So that is just a quick quick thing. Okay, let's look at it together. People are still coming late, man. 10 minutes late, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. So, so firstly, right? Can I see for earnings per share, Vera? Do you think it passes or fail? Vera, for earnings per share, do you think it passes or fail? Right. What do you think, guys? Earnings per share for P&G? It's very it fluctuates a lot, guys. I don't really like it personally. For a company like P&G, I don't really like that it fluctuates so much. Yeah. Don't really like it. It's positive, but to grow, yeah. So next one, we look at operating cash flow, right? Yeah, it's fluctuating as well. Stagnant after 10 years, man. Right? Obviously, they're a big company, people buy their products, but especially like Vera, I know as you're pretty young, right, Vera? I wouldn't really recommend personally, right, buying it. But you could do it if you like it, right? But I wouldn't do it. Okay? Return of equity. Yeah, equity is below 15%. Not something that I like to see. All right. Debt to equity. Yeah, 0.5. No. So Vera, for me right now, P&G wouldn't be a company that I would personally invest. Right? Yeah, as an average. There are many other companies that are great out there, Vera. Mingjin, I love your question about Tesla. Let's talk more about Tesla later, yeah? We'll talk more about Tesla later, talk more about Zoom later, all right? Okay, so thanks for your question, Mingjin. Hope you're well. Long time no see, long time no talk. Okay. Tesla and Zoom. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later, man, all right? Take some time. All right, so are you guys ready to get started? Okay, let me tell you, yes, you guys are ready to get started. We go on the second part, right? We're going to get the second part and we're going to get moving. All right, excited. Has the first half been good so far? For those who have attended the full one, has it been good so far? Right? Good, huh? Okay, that's good. I like it. All right, and so I'm going to start sharing my next portion. Holy moly, what the... Wonderful, Hanbin, yes. Yeah, damn happy that you joined, man. Okay, so a few things, right? For the Q&A portion, right? So Q&A portion, I heard, no, Dr. Kevin is not here, man. We have different investing methodologies. He's not. Don't worry. We're just talking a bit about him just now. Okay, so, right? The next question is, hey, how do I find stocks to invest in, right? So I just want to go through very quickly, right? Obviously, OMI, we can go a lot deeper, so that's something that I love that module, right? But I'm just going to go through very quickly for you guys here about how to do it, right? Yeah, Victor, we do stock screeners. We can share about it more later, yeah? Okay, so right now, right, the question is, what are some stocks that you know that you can invest in right now in your circle of competence and everything, right? And so I just want to give you a quick example, right? So this is, what industry is this? What industry is this bunch of companies in? Jonathan says, oh, Jonathan, why are you here, man? Why are you here? You don't need to be here, bro. You're experienced. You're good, man. Jenny says beer, alcohol, okay? Yeah. Obviously, this is in alcohol brands. So of this, obviously, you can see what are the most popular brands and everything. Right? And so one of the companies, right, that you could look at, right, are these companies itself. They are all listed, right? So Diageo is one. Diageo is a big, huge ass company, right, that I know is going to do well during this period because people are bored, people are sad, people buy more and more beer and alcohol, man. That's 100% confirmed. Right, people are get alcoholic, get drunk and everything. Okay, so that's number one, right? So one thing to know about the alcohol brand, right? If you actually follow it, so I think Mingjin, you're here, right? Great, you're here, right? There's one area in the alcohol side that's coming out, right? Which is the craft beer space, right? So right now, a lot of big beer brands actually all starting to acquire beer companies, craft beer companies. So there's something to look at as well. But for me, I still feel that a company like Diageo is going to do well, right? But yeah, because they have a lot of premium brands in the whole alcohol space, right? And next one. So what company is this? What company is this, man? What company is this sector in? Hey, what company? Disney, right? So Disney owns a whole bunch of stuff. Pixar, Disneyland Cruise Lines, ABC, ESPN, right? And Walt Disney, right? So obviously, right, when we invest in Disney, we're not just investing in, let's say, the studios itself, the movies, you're investing in a whole bunch of it. So sometimes you have to know, right, that a company can own multiple brands. So even like a company like Google, right? Company like Google can own like freaking hell lot of brands at the same time as well. right? So Google has a lot of brands. It has the self-driving car space, it has the drive space, it has the Google.com space, right? So something to note, right, is that, hey, for a company like Disney, the question is, hey, when you talk about alcohol, when you talk about Disney, right, the question is, will people continue to drink beer and alcohol in the next 10 years' time? Will people continue to watch Disney and go to Disneyland in the next 5 to 10 years' time? Absolutely, right? So that's my personal take, right? I feel that beer, alcohol is never going to change. People are still going to get drunk. People still want to drink alcohol. People still want to get high. At the same time, people still want to watch Disney. People still want to bring their children. People still want to go back to their magical place. But people still watch sports, right, under ESPN for sure, right? And so very quickly, it's just from the things we look around us. Remember what I said about circle of competence earlier, right? We're going to see so many things around us that we can invest in, that we can know and be aware about. Right, and another company is, of course, in the social media space, right? You have Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, WeChat, Instagram, right? QQ, I have no idea where is QQ from. Qzone, no idea where is Qzone. TikTok, right, which is owned by Tencent, right? Weibo, Reddit, Twitter. Yeah, so all this social media, right? Obviously, this is the new thing, right? This is a lot of these companies have what we call the 21st century mode, the network effect, right? And all of this, remember, to do it. I didn't. Statistica never include. All right. Right, well, that's the thing. People from China. All right. So another thing I look at is, hey, what are the most valuable brands in the world? So obviously they are damn big right now, but hey, even if they're freaking big, doesn't mean that they won't grow any bigger, right, in the future. And one thing to note is that a lot of the rise of the whole SPY stock market right now is being led by the big ass tech companies, right? So that's just something to note as well. But this is just from this very simply, it's just how I look at companies, how I look at stocks, right? On how I look at potential ideas to invest in, right? And so a quick question is, so I do this exercise very quickly, right? What do you think are some of the sectors or industries that will grow the most in the next 10 years' time? Tech, what kind of tech? So then try to be a bit more specific, right? Payments, right? Anything else? Cybersecurity, education, fintech, healthcare, 5G, social media. Yeah, for sure, man. All this will grow. Food, food will grow, food will be some. Yeah, but ask you guys, it looks like everything, right? Oil, maybe not. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask you guys is, hey, recession or not, right? COVID or not, right? Will the sectors continue to grow? Right? Will the sectors continue to grow? Video conference for sure, streaming will grow, right? Zane says yes, healthcare, yeah. You guys know, man. You guys are smart. You guys are, a lot of you are know. If you are new, no worries, man. But just think through. What do you feel are the sectors that, regardless of recession, regardless of a trade war and whatnot, right? Then you know that you will have the potential to grow in the next 5 to 10 years time, right? And that's how you can start your analysis of what companies to potentially invest in, right? So right now, for me, like I know cybersecurity is going to be huge. Right, I know technology is going to be big. What kind of technology, right? 5G, cloud computing, and everything. I'm still going to share with you all, right, about this thing called ETFs, right? Exchange traded funds, right? Everybody can me type ETFs right now. ETFs, right? ETFs, right? So very quickly, ETFs. And so what you can do, right? Let's say, what's WTF? Alamak. Okay, Jonathan. Okay, so right, for ETFs, right, basically what I'm going to do an exercise of, hey, what are the sectors you feel will grow big, right? So I think some of you say e-commerce, some of you say payments, some of you say, what's World Traded Fund, right? What are other sectors? Right, social media, right? Let's look at social media, right? So the question is right now, right, do you all think social media will grow in the next 5 to 10 years time? I think most of us say yes, and so I'll show you what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so social media. So ETFs are, I caught a bit too fast, right? So what we do for ETFs is that, right, instead of investing in one stock alone, right, instead of investing in one stock, we actually can invest in a group of companies as if it's one share. Right? So it can be, I can invest in a Singapore ETF. So that's all the biggest Singapore companies that's listed in Singapore. Right? I can invest in Malaysia ETF. I can invest in China tech ETF. I can invest in the US ETF. Right? So that's in the country side. And then we can even invest in sectors, right? Which is what I love. Right? And what I usually do is I'll try to invest in ETFs that are in sectors. Right? So my favorite is cybersecurity. One of my favorite is payments as well. Right? So that's what I would do. Right? And guys, let me go and do something very quickly. Yeah. I'm going to do very quickly right now. I want to delete this already. So no more. Okay. I got caught by Marc on ETF bug. Huh? Okay, so let's say social media, right? So all I will do very simply, just look at look at the companies and look at how I do it. Look at the process I do it. So let's say I know social media is going to be big, right? So what I'm going to do is social media. ETF, right? Social media ETF. Right? So there are two, but sometimes there might be more and everything, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to search what are the top social media ETFs. So what other sectors you think that is good, you can go and do this, okay? Top social media ETFs, right? And there's usually a bigger one, right? Alamak, it's locked. What? Okay, so, there's one. Okay, so there's one now. Usually there's more, right? So how I'm going to find the companies I look at is the ETFs, right? Is I want to find what are those with the biggest amount of assets. So obviously right now, SOCL is not so big and everything, but let's say I want to go SOCL. So I know it's SOCL is the ETF. So I collect and I go to this one, SOCL Morningstar, right? So back to Morningstar, SOCL Morningstar, and I go to the quote, right? I go to the quote. Look through how I do it, guys, okay? Am I recording it? Oh, I think I'm not recording it. Oh, crap. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah. Recording it now. So ETFs, yeah. Okay. So social media, right? And there's a few things I can look at, right? So first, I can look at the price and everything right now, right? But one thing I want to find first is I will go to portfolio. Right. Go to portfolio. Right, and when you go down, so this is the average PE ratio. It's about 25, right? It's 25. It's actually not that bad. I don't know. But anyway, I'm more interested in, when I go all the way down, I actually can look at the companies that they're investing in right now. Right, can you see? So over here, right, over here will be the biggest companies that are in the social media space right now. I chose an easy example, right? We also know what are the big ones, but you can see what the biggest companies are. Tencent, right? Facebook, I have no idea what's Naver, right? So I can search, let's say, hey, Naver, I can research on it, right? So Hero, or Line, right? It's under Line, right? You can go and look at it, Naver. Snapchat is one of the biggest holdings, right? Right? Twitter, Spotify, NetEase, Alphabet, Baidu, so on and so forth, right? And so you have two choices, right? You have two choices, guys. How many choices? How many choices? Let me type it out. How many choices do you guys have? Two choices, right? Firstly, right, I can invest in the ETF. I can invest in the exchange traded fund itself. I can invest in SOCL. So very simply, I just invest in SOCL and then I am done, right? So that's number one, SOCL, right? I don't know if there are options or not. You can check it out. The next one, right, is I can find out what I feel are the biggest companies and then I analyze it based on my valuation, based on my methodology. Right, so very quickly, right, let's try another one, right? Any other particular sector that you want? Let me type in the chat. Any particular sector you want? ETF, yeah, they give some dividends, right? But Leonard, in US, typically we don't really invest for dividends, right? Usually invest in dividends. Try to invest in the big blue chips in your own country, like Singapore or Malaysia, right? Malaysia, I'm not sure. I haven't really touched Malaysia, but Singapore, I would just, if I want dividends, I would invest in REITs or what, yeah. The cybersecurity, okay, Jesslyn, wonderful. Jesslyn, heck, right? Wilson says cybersecurity, so that's what I like. All right, okay, so very simply, I go here. Okay, cybersecurity, right? You guys know it's hack, but I'm going to show you how are you going to do it, right? So I want to look at top ETFs, right? I always want to look at the biggest amount of assets, right? So you can invest in that. Usually, typically is the most safe, right? But that's how traditional I look at, right? But I also want to look at what are the companies itself, right? So there's CIBR, there's HEC, right? So you can choose either CIBR or HEC. I think why most people choose HEC is because it's more actively traded, if I'm not wrong. But let's say I want to CIBR, right? So CIBR, Morningstar. Not all, it depends. It depends for the reverse split. Okay. So where do you go? Go to portfolio, right? Yeah, so even, right, so very simply, right, like if you don't know about specific companies, right, if you cannot analyze specific companies in the cybersecurity space, not your cyber competence, but you are very confident that it's going to go out in the next 5 to 10 years time, which I feel it will, right, cybersecurity, you can just buy the ETF, man, right? You can just take a nap and sleep and 10 years later, right, you know it's going to go up, right? Right, so that's just a very quick thing. Right, okay, so what are the biggest companies, right? CrowdStrike is actually now bigger portfolio weight. But anyway, yeah, you can use this as a start to actually start analyzing companies, right, in this space. So Zscaler is one, right? CrowdStrike, I think, is upcoming, right? Cisco Systems obviously is one of the biggest, right? Palo Alto, right? You can look at Okta, right? Okta is a company I like, right? It's a group of a growth company, but I can show you guys more of it later, right, Akamai. So this is how you can get started, right? But for me, in the cybersecurity space, I'm not so, it's not really my circle of competence. So like if you are starting out, I would highly recommend, let's say you like the cybersecurity space, but I don't know specific companies, you can actually invest in an ETF itself as well, right? And so you don't have to worry that it will go down or and whatnot. But cybersecurity in the long run will, in my opinion, will be a no-brainer, right? It will definitely go up, right? So social media, so you can take it, some of you can take it down if you want. Social media, I pay, right? And what typically I don't, right? But if you want to be a bit more detailed, you can, but I'm going to tell you, I don't. I just look at what's the biggest one. And also one of the reasons why is because I've been in the investment community long enough to know what are the most actively traded ETFs, right? Yes, Vera is slower, but you can actually use it as what we call the defense. I'll talk more about portfolio later, right? But that's what we call more of the defensive strategy, right? E-commerce. What's e-commerce ETF? I also forgot, right? E-commerce ETF. All right, top 5. Okay, let me just... No one asked to join. Why are people still asking to join now? Anyway, I pay, yeah, for sure. I pay for sure. What's e-commerce top ETF? Let's look. All right. There's iBuy, interesting name. There's iBuy. There's EBS. I think EBS is the biggest one, right? So let's say EBS and everything, right? And yeah, so cloud computing, all right? Cloud computing, SKYY. Yeah, AI is one as well, right? But tell me something about AI, right? AI, anyone can say they're using AI, Leonard. So even when Buffett said that, don't go and listen to a company just because they say use AI, because AI should be more of a prerequisite if you want to be a growth and innovative company. So that's a very quick thing about AI. Everybody is going to use AI one way or another. All right, that's for AI. VPN ETF, I don't think so, man. I don't think there's a VPN ETF. Right. Okay. Right, so that's for ETFs. Anything else? Right. I'm just trying to. So there's a whole bunch you can check out. There's the XLE, XLF, XLU, XLP, right? There's a lot of companies in this space you can check out sectors. They are actually quite heavily traded as well, right? So you upgrade the ETF based on the methodology we learned, right? So for ETFs, right, I don't go and look at so whatever I shared just now, right, the first half is more for stocks, more for specific stocks. This one is if you believe in a sector, you believe in a country. But I just want to share with you guys, right? So even if you just want to invest in ETF, you can, right, based on your thesis of a particular sector, or you can actually use that to hone down on specific companies you want to find, right, which is what I did earlier as well. Okay? This is crypto. There is crypto ETF. I think there is blockchain lah. Confirm have, right? Lester, if you're listening, you're also here as well. BLCN or block, right? You can do. So if you like blockchain, right? But blockchain, not in my big circle of competence yet, man. Right? Okay, so that's something that grow. Obviously, the growth is typically smaller, right? But it's something that you can invest in soundly at night. So I'm going to show you more later about portfolio management. Okay, right? That's for ETFs. So just very quickly, right? You can invest in ETFs for yourself, blah, 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 and that's going to help you out. Might as well go. Okay, so next one, I'll go through valuation, right? So it's basically how we determine what we call the entry price, right? Have me type entry price and we'll get started. Right, entry price. Valuation of ETF, we can't really value ETF, yeah? We can't really value ETFs. Why? Because it's all mixed with a different kind of companies, right? So obviously you can, if you want to take the whole breakdown of all the 20 company ETF, do a weighted average, right? But we don't. But typically, for me, what I do is if I feel that, I feel that sector will grow, right? And then I will just quickly invest in ETF. I don't go and do so much valuation for ETFs, man. So if it's if I do a bit of simple technical analysis, which is what you learn in OMI program as well. So thinking if you sign up, that would be great. You actually, for me, right, if your ETF is in support, right, you can just buy the ETF already. All right, entry price, right? Okay, so I'm standing because I'm feeling I need to stand up a bit, right? Just ate my snacks, so I need to make sure I get a bit awake for you guys. Okay, so next, right? It's a bit dry, this part, but I'm going to share you something, right? When it comes to valuation, right, it's more of an art than a science. Right? So the thing about valuation is that it's the same thing as investing strategies, man. Is I cannot prescribe to you a certain amount of strategies. I can only share with you what I personally use and what has worked for me. right? So the thing is, there might be discounted cash flow model, there might be the EV over EBIT ratio, there's going to be a bunch of price over sales, price over free cash flow valuation. There's going to be a lot of valuation methods. I'm going to share with you three simple ones that you can use. You can take it back for yourself, right? And then, but if you want to learn more about TCF and other methods, feel free to do so, man. All right? So that's what I'm going to do. So first one is what we call the price to book value, right? It's for companies that the value is derived from their assets, and typically we use it for companies like in banks, commodities, right? Commodities, silver, property, right? I think recently a company called NCLH, right? You can see that actually is way below book value. So that's in the cruisers line as well. They have quite a bit of assets there at the same time. Something to know for property, right? Using this method, it can be a bit challenging because property is all based on third-party valuation. It's all based on some sort of valuation methodology they don't understand, because all this valuation of the specific property, right, usually is determined by some sort of formula or whatever that we don't really understand. So there's something to note for you, right? But for banks, right, for some cruisers, I use it as well, right? And and what we're going to do, right, is to buy at least 20% undervalued, right, based on their price to book ratio, right? 20%, right, because we want to have this thing called the margin of safety. Right, so for example, if the company says they're worth $1, right, just to be safe, you're going to value them at 80 cents, right, at 80 cents, right, and the stock price is below 80 cents, and then I start buying the stock. Very simple, right? And how do you actually count it, right? It's just 0.8, right, 0.8 times book value per share, right, 0.8 times book value per share. Very, very simple, right? And so how are we going to do it, right? Very quickly, right, I'm going to show you how we're going to kind of book to value, price to book value ratio. Can you guys still see my screen? Yeah, type yes. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so right, for a company like what do you call it? The stock OZK, right? It's a bank. Let's talk about it. Let's just look at it together, right? So do you know how like the stocks I've been talking about, right? It's actually still lobangs, but I'm giving you more conviction. I'm giving you a framework of how do you analyze company. So even when you invest in it, you have a much stronger framework of why the company is good in the invest in the first place. So like P&G, people are going to think that P&G is like a no-brainer stock to invest in because everybody is using it. But you look at the financial strategy, it's going to give you additional risk, right, to the company. So at least right now you have a framework. So at least when you invest in a company, you're not going to start panicking at night. You're not going to be afraid. At least you have a framework and you know what's your risk involved. All right. So it's just something to note as well. Okay. Okay. So one thing we look at, right, is we go straight to key ratios. So this is just for This is just for this is just on showing how to calculate the valuation, right? So you look at banks, Bank OZK, right? We look at book value per share. So you see, right now, we look at the TTM, right? The trailing 12 months, which is 32.09, right? Right now, the latest one is 32.09, right? Can you see it's 32.09? And what we do, how do we count the value price, guys? Based on what I shared, how do we calculate, what's the formula to calculate the stock price, the entry price for OZK, right? Let me type it in the comments if you know, right? 32.09 times, right? Yeah, times 0.8, which is, somebody help me count? Yep. Mute everyone. Okay. It's too noisy, let me know, right? Just mute everyone. Don't worry. I can't hear you guys. Which is why. So 25.67, yeah. So 25.67, if you like the company OZK, it's a circle competence, you studied, you did your own due diligence, you did your own research, right? Like you could say it's undervalued right now, right? But of course, obviously OZK, they do loans more for SMEs and all, right? So something to watch out for. I'm not so sure how is the company right now. That's why I have not invested in the company, the stock itself, right? But if you like it, you know what they're doing, feel free to go for it, man, right? It is undervalued. Okay, if you like the company, everything, right? It is in an undervalued space, right? So you can see at one point of time, 2015, it was $40. It actually went down and everything, right? But I do know that some people like this company. But please, this is not a recommendation at all. I'm just showing you how to quickly find out, right? So for the Singaporean guys, benefit, right? Singapore, what's DBS actual ticker symbol? I have no idea. Book value per share, Price to book value. Yeah, book value per share is how much the book is worth, how much the assets, the net assets are worth, right? And then price to book is the price divided by the book value, right? The stock price divided by book value. So we want a price to book value of about 0.8. D05, right? D05. Oh no, Nana, you missed it. Later I'll show you again, okay? So 0.8 times, yeah, correct. And book value per share. Okay. Yeah, let it load. Oh, a bit slow. Okay. Oh, for Singapore company guys, right? We need to just Google directly. So DO5 key ratios Morningstar. Right, then we get it directly. All right. Right now, Morningstar is in a weird space, man. So it's a bit harder to find for Singapore companies. You can use it for others, but usually I use Singapore. But I'm going to tell you right now, I hardly invest in Singapore companies. And why? Because I feel that there's a lot more potential. Unfortunately, we can't look at it. If anybody can find the link, let me know, right? We can show it, right? But okay, let's do another company instead, all right? Let's look at something more exciting, right? Let's look in the US. No options, right? Yeah, no. For this valuation, for price to book value, right? Valuation, we use price to book value per share. We can use dividend as well. I'll show you later. Yeah. Michael, yeah, we can use that as well. But valuation, key ratios. So don't look at debt to equity, right? For banks. Okay. So book value per share right now is about $76. Right, about 75.89 up to you, which one you need to choose, right? 75.89. Right. For the key ratios, Kenny, I think that's the code link. Right? Thanks, Kenny. Right. So 75.89. No, I don't. I use the free data. 0.8 equals to 60.78, right? 60.78. So right now, if you want to be very conservative for JP Morgan, right? So if you it's $95, so it's slightly overvalued, right? And why? Also because everybody knows JP Morgan and everybody loves it, right? So let's look at Bank of America. So obviously, okay, later we'll show you how you can build a watch list, right? Like obviously you're not going to check the stock prices of 50 companies every day, right? To see whether it's overvalued, it's undervalued or not. So Bank of America, I'll do one last one and then we'll get moving, right? Oxy, I wouldn't touch Oxy, man. Right? Even Warren Buffett does it. Personally, I don't. Right? So I'm biased. Right? Book value right now is about $27. Oh, that's pretty high. $27. Nope, Nanda, it doesn't. ETFs, like I said, P less than 12, or you really feel that the thing will grow, right? So 27.7, right, times 0.8. Right, 22.16. 22.16. Right, so what's Bank of America stock right now? How much is it? Oh, once you type it out. Okay, something happened to my keyboard. I can't. Yeah, it's $24, right? It's $24 right now, and that's what you can do. Okay, all right. So that is for the price to book value, right? Price to book value. That's something you can look at, right? Let's look at NCLH together. Yeah, is that okay? Look at NCLH. Stock. Is that okay? Yeah. Oh, it's $16. Did the OMI guys, OMI people, the people who have signed up OMI, have you all made money from NCLH right now? Have you all made money? Timmy says yes. Sherman says yes. Philly, sell puts. Philip, hey, Philip, yo. Right. Says yes. Nanda says making. Remember one of the call options, even 100%. Wow, steady lah. Steady. Right, steady. Very good. Okay, sell put. That's good. Okay. All right. So I just want to quickly share. Right. So typically, right, like NCLH, I will share with you the difference between the valuation methods, but I don't really use book value per share for a company like NCLH, but I still feel it'll grow. But yeah, KTM, Seamus, you're right. So you see, book value per share is now $30, right? So obviously it might be priced down and all because cruisers, they're not being used right now. It might be depreciated. I don't know, man. Okay. But very simply, right? 8 is about $24 right now. It's about $24 if I use the price book value, right? And then right now it's about $15, $16, man. So right now I feel that NCRH has a big room to grow. But obviously you must be able to withstand the volatility of the stock, because right now obviously people are not riding cruises anymore, right? So that's just something you got to look at, right? That you need to do. Okay, right. I'm going to go back to my slides. Right. Thanks, Christopher. All right. Thanks, Kenny. I know you guys have me share. Right. So let's look at Singapore. So guys, I'm Singaporean. So for those I'm not, sorry, we can just catch. Oh, Las Vegas chair. Okay. No lah, we don't do Las Vegas since we don't really do it by the assets. Right. I thought that's Singtel. I thought that's DBS. Yes. Kenny, you shared it, right? Yeah. So book value right now is about $19. How much is DBS right now? About $21 right now. Right. How much is DBS right now? $21. Now just let me check, right? So I'm going to go next, but I realized that there's a lot more things I want to cover. Right? We're going to 2 p.m. Okay. Close around 20. Yeah. So right now it's about fairly value. Okay. So that's our price to book value. Right. Next, right, we use this thing called dividend yield, right? Dividend yield. These are for companies that you want to invest in dividends, right? This is for dividends, right? These are companies that we want to value them based on the dividends that they give, right? The dividends that they give. And our target, right, a rough target is at least to achieve at least 5% dividend yield, right? Obviously, you can do more. And for REITs, right, for those who are investing in REITs, it should be at least 7%, right? At least 7%. Why? Because you are really investing in them because of the dividends, right? And so how do you find the dividend yield? Firstly, is expected dividend yield by share price. But more importantly, you want to find what's the target price. So how to find the target price is the expected dividend per yield, the expected dividend per share. Remember the word is expected, divided by 0.05, right? So that's if you have a 5% target of dividend yield. But if you want, let's say, a 10% dividend, right? Not very common, but again, we'll divided it by 0.1, right? So there's something to note. The divided by, that number, is based on the kind of dividend yield, the dividend yield that you are targeting, right? So I'm going to show you very quickly, right? I don't go so much into it, right? Because it's pretty simple. So for example, like company like DBS, right? So right now, how do I find the expected? Right, so now it's one, right? The most recent year is 1.5, right? The dividends, can you see? I'll try to zoom it in. Right, it's 1.5 is the most latest dividends, right? And before that was 1.2, right? Wow, before that 0.6, right? And so the thing is, like, we can never guarantee what's the dividend for DBS, right, in the coming year. And we know that, people are worried, people are unsure of whether the company will do well. Press wrong, right? They guarantee 1.2? They guaranteed. Oh, okay. So if they guarantee, right, I don't know whether they will face any problem if they don't guarantee, right? Right, if they don't guarantee it, right, it will be 1.2, right? 1.2 divided by 0.05, right? So it's $24, right? So if you're okay with a 5% dividend yield, right, you can invest in them if they are below $24, right? But yeah, so that's what you can do. If they guarantee, I'm not so sure. I don't follow Singapore, right? If you want a 7% dividend yield, it's about $17, right? As simple as that. If you want 8% dividend yield, right, it's $15, right? So that's what I can do, of course. And let's look at other companies, all right? So let's look at JP Morgan, right? Let's look at JP Morgan. Or look at Bank of America, right? So they have dividends, right? So right now it's about 0.66, right? It's 0.66. So 0.66 divided by 0.05 is about $13. So right now for Bank of America, do you think it's overvalued or undervalued? Right, for Bank of America, do you think it's undervalued or overvalued? Guys, am I going too fast? Let me know if I'm going too fast. Overvalue, yeah, overvalue, right? Yeah, a bit fast because I need type notes. Overvalue, yeah, it's overvalued for sure, man. It's definitely overvalued. All right. Okay, so somebody asked a question, right? Is it okay to have such a high payout ratio? Yeah, if it's high payout ratio, you're not comfortable, right? So payout ratio is basically the percentage of their dividends as compared to their stocks, right? Okay, as compared to their earnings, right? And so if you see a company like DBS right now, it was 53%, and it's suddenly shot at 89%. This is what we call a red flag, right? A red flag because why? It means that their profits are like $100, right? And out of $100, they give $90 as dividends, right? But my take is also because DBS doesn't really know what to do with the money that they can grow with, right? So that's just my personal take, right? And so it's pretty big, right now. Yeah, for banks, Leonard, we can either use asset or we can use dividends, right? So obviously for dividends, there are big ass companies that we can use as well, right? Can someone help me, like while I'm doing this, can someone help me look for McDonald's, right? We look at McDonald's key ratios, right? While I continue with what, trying to answer some questions, right? Someone help me do McDonald's, right? Yeah, Christopher, yeah, so we don't use it. Okay. Let's look at JP Morgan, right? I think my browser is lagging. Sadly, man. Okay. Thanks, Eugene. I love it, right? Do you realize that with online, I can't paste. Crap, I can't paste the... Something's wrong, man. Let me stop share for a while. Oh, okay. I can share again. Okay. Okay. All right. So for McDonald's, right? For the dividends right now is about 4.73. All right. Okay. I'll do this. Okay. Reset. I'll do a proper example for this so you can see what is going to happen. Because DBS, somebody said, hey, it's going to be guaranteed, right? So I don't want to talk about it so much, right? But I'm going to share with you about McDonald's, right? So we're going to restart, reset. Let me type reset, right? So we're going to reset this whole life exercise again, okay? This whole life exercise again. Okay, reset, okay. Right, reset. Right, just say McDonald's earnings for... No, just use the example, right? Okay, so, right, if you look, like the dividends for McDonald's, right? 2.263, 4.19, 4.73, right? And so what we're going to do, right, is because what we want to find out is this thing called our expected dividend, right? Expected dividend. And so the question is, hey, for the next, like the most recent year was 4.73, but we can't guarantee that in the next year there'll be 4.73. And obviously some of you know that, with the crisis right now, their earnings might be affected and blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to do, right, is we want to make a more conservative estimate. Can every one of you here type conservative, right? Every one of you type conservative, right? You can type conservative. Yeah, conservative, okay? Be conservative, right? So we cannot guarantee that the next year the earnings will be 4.73, especially with the whole COVID situation right now. So what we want to do is we want to be conservative, and so we try to come up with a much more conservative number on expected dividends per year. So what I would do, right, is if you want to be super conservative, right, 4.73, right, what I'll do is, obviously you cannot be so conservative until you get a dividend of like 10 years ago. That'd be ridiculous, right? So what I'll do personally, right, usually I'll take the average of the most recent 2 years and I'll just divide it by 2. Just zoom out. Yeah. So this is dividends per share. This is dividends per share. As simple as that. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So 4.19. So what I'll do is 4.19 plus 4.73. All right, 8.92. So 8.92 divided by 2. Alamak. Okay, so 8.92 divided by 2, right, which is 4.46, right? So 4.46 will be what I call my expected dividend per year, expected dividend, right? Expected dividend. And so what I do is I then 4.46, right? Remember so I'm going to do it here, right? So we can all understand. So example, right? McDonald, right? So McDonald, right? Hold on a while. I'm just going to show you very quickly. So dividends, right? So let's say dividends. This is my dividends. Right, can you see? Right, so right now it's about 4.73 and 4.19. So what I'll do is 4.73, right? All right. So 4.73 divided by plus 4.19, right? Divided by 2, right? So divided by 2 equals to 4.46. So obviously I'm going to put it bigger, right? So 4.46, right? Is that okay? 4.46. And then what I'll do is, right, 4.46 divided by 0.05. Let's say 0.5% my expected dividend yield, right? And so what's the number? 4.47 divided by 0.05 equals to 89.4, right? 89.4, right? And so with this, my valuation, my entry price for McDonald's, 89.4. Obviously, it's damn freaking high, right? Right. So we'll talk more about that later, right? But that's just a very quick one, right? Do you understand what I mean? Everyone can catch how is this being calculated? Let me type yes if you understand. Oh yeah, so you can take the past 2 years, past 3 years, right? It's something that's up to you. But for me, I'll just take the past 2 or 3 years at the max, right? Yes, need more practice for sure, right? But something about me is I don't really do much dividend stocks because I want more growth, right? At this point of my life. Right, but obviously McDonald's is very overvalued because people love it, right? So McDonald's is another way to count it. Right, and so next one, right, I'm going to introduce to you this thing called the price to earnings ratio, right? Can you say type price? Let me type price. 80, 4.47, 4.48, 4.46. Alamak. Sorry. All right, correct. So divide 5% is because it's 5% dividend yield, right? 5% dividend yield, right? Wilson, yeah. So price earnings ratio is just basically how do you count, right? So I'm just going to write it here first, right? So price to earnings, right? Ratio. How do I count it? It's very simple, right? It's just, let me just delete this, right? It's the stock price divided by earnings, right? The earnings per share, right? And this is just what we call a rough gauge, right? A rough assessment of how expensive or how cheap a stock is, right? And so obviously if I have a P ratio of 50, right, it's generally considered as more expensive than P ratio of 5, right? So if we look at like the P ratio of NCLH, right? NCLH valuation, very quickly, right, is 3, it's 4, right? It's like $4, like 4 now. So it's very cheap compared to a company like, let's say Facebook, right? Facebook, right, which is 29, right? And obviously why? People feel that there's higher growth potential for Facebook as compared to NCLH, right? Bigger, yeah, it's a general gauge of more expensive, but also because for the higher P ratios, right, are usually for companies who are in the technology space, right? Then that means they have higher growth potential. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do it, right? And there's a company called Haidilao, right? Right? And there's a P ratio about 70, right? Which is even more than Facebook, right? And why is also because people feel that Haidilao is going to grow very high, right? Going to go heavy high. So Daryl, I'm going to share that more about that later. So don't worry about it, okay? So P ratio is about 70, right? People are actually valuing Haidilao as if it's a technology company, right? Interestingly, yeah? Right? no worries. Okay? Okay, right? So then we bring to this thing called the PEG ratio, right? The PEG ratio, right? And it's just basically for companies we expect to grow significantly over the long term, and the target is to buy it when the PEG is less than 1, right? It's less than 1. And it's a method developed by Peter Lynch that resulted in some of the most investment being multi-baggers, right? Multi-baggers, those that grow 100, 200, 300, 400% times, right? And the target is to buy it, right? And so basically what we want to do is to buy companies that the price to earnings, the PEG ratio is less than 1. Basically, it means that we feel that the growth rate is higher than the P ratio. So for example, if Facebook, we expect it to grow 100% in the next 3 to 5 years, right? And the P ratio is only 30, do we buy Facebook or not? For example, this is just an illustration. Do we buy Facebook or not? We type, what do you think? If, for example, if you feel that Facebook will grow 100% in the next 5 to 10 years, and the P ratio right now is 30, right? Yes, we buy, right? We buy, right? It's because the price earnings ratio is less than the growth rate, right? 0.3 on your account. Sell house and buy. Yeah. All right. So one thing to note, right, guys, about growth, this is when what I call a bit of subjectivity comes in, right? Because this is when it boils down to how much you believe in a company, what's your conviction, what's your thesis of the company, right? So one general thing to know is that generally, for me, right, most companies, I try to have 30% growth rate as a maximum, right? Of course, there are more and everything, but I try to make it at 30. Yes, Philip, you're right, 0.3, right? So 30%, that's for me, right? I feel that huge, even tech companies that I love, right? 30% is my maximum, right? So yeah, that's one thing to note. But growth rate is very subjective, and I'm going to share with you generally how I get started on doing it first. Okay, but obviously this one you need a lot more research. You need to find out a bit more about the company and everything. But one way you can do it, right, is go to Morningstar again. We're going to go to our best friend, Morningstar. So let's say Facebook stock. All right. Key ratios. All right. So same thing. So if you look at valuation, right, I think they might give a P ratio, but don't look at their P ratio. Okay, we are to look at ourselves, right? They will give it, right, but don't look at it. We decide it among ourselves. Okay. Key ratios data. Just exit some stuff. Okay. Okay. Oh. Everyone okay so far? Is everyone okay so far? I know this is a bit dry. Valuation is quite dry, honestly. Right? I hope everyone's okay. Okay. Not dry lah. Okay. So we look at it, right? Over here, we scroll down and we look at this thing called growth, right? Growth. We look at this thing called growth. We click on it. Right, and then we go down, right? We go down, we look at this thing called the EPS, right? And so what we do is we actually look at what's the historical growth rate. So typically we look at the 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year average, and we choose the lowest, right? The 3-year, the 5-year, and the 10-year, we choose what's the lowest. So obviously right now, for Facebook, right, if you want to be conservative, right, you choose 22.59% as their growth rate, right? As their growth rate. Okay, and I'm going to share with you how you find the entry price right now. Okay, let me just put back it. So to find the entry price, right, I think I didn't put it here. So please take note. If you are looking at another screen, if you are watching, you're just listening to me, right? Right now, I want you to come back to the screen, right? Come back to the screen right now. Okay. Okay. Entry price. Tony, confirm guilty, Earnings price is basically expected growth rate, all right? Multiply by the current EPS, the end of year EPS, right? Have faith in. Don't worry. I know people sure 180 people sure got people sure look at the screen outside. It happens, right? Okay, let me just look at this. Okay, so I'm going to take this down. So example, right? So EPS, so valuation, right, equals to EPS end year, right, multiplied by EPS, right? Multiplied by growth rate. So for example, like a company like Facebook, right? Remember, we choose the lowest of the 3, 5-year, 10-year average. We choose 22.59 equals to 22.59 multiplied by current year EPS, right? Current year EPS, we look at it, it's about 6.43, right? 6.43, okay? 6.43, right? And equals to 6.43 multiplied by 22.59, 145. Right, 145. So the question is, some people might be asking, hey, Siala, Facebook, 145, still? Why? Like, isn't it overvalued? Right? And so that's when, right? And so that's when what I call subjectivity comes in, right? So this is a part, it's very important. All of you are probably like, unfortunately, like I'm not, this is not like a continued thing after this, right? So the thing about finding out the growth rate and all, right, is that it has to be subjective, right? And the question is, how strong is your conviction in Facebook? Right? If your conviction in Facebook is much stronger and you believe that you actually grow more than 25%, you actually grow 30% for Facebook, right? And then you can actually invest in it. But if you are starting out, right, this is what you can do conservatively in the first place. And then, right, and then if you're a bit more advanced, you're a bit more interested, and then you can start investing. You can start putting in a good value price. So I'm just sharing you the theory right now. I will share you a bit more application a bit later, right? But so right now, if you just look at this very conservative method, Facebook would then be overvalued, right? How low did Facebook go during the crisis? Did you ever go 145? No, I think 2 years ago it did, right? Because of the whole Cambridge Analytica. Wow. You see? 146. Woo! Okay. Anyway, yeah, the other time I went to this time was, 20, and it was because of a scandal that did not affect the fundamentals of the company, right? And so that's why people can start buying in, man. All right? People can start buying the company, right? Okay, so there's just a quick thing that I got to share with you all about Facebook, right? Everyone understand? Everyone understand? Any questions so far? Any questions about valuation so far before I go on to the next portion? I understand. Okay, great, wonderful. Right, a lot to digest for sure, Philip. There's always a lot to digest. Right. What's the last screen? This one? Oh, there you go. Right. So for me, right, Facebook, for me, like I know about Facebook, I know about their future plans. They're not just doing Facebook, they're just not doing, oh, I'm not sharing screen. Alamak. Okay, sorry about that. Let me share screen. Okay, let go. Right. Is it noisy? Are people, let me just mute everyone again. No worries, Daryl. I know you're damn on about your growth companies. No worries. Okay, so growth company, right? This is for Facebook, right? And something to note, right, is that for me, for a company like Facebook, I actually have a lot more confidence in them. And why? It's because I know that they are going to enter the payment space in India. They bought a Reliance Jio, right, a huge company in India, right? They have Oculus Rift right now. They are going to extend to that side as well, and they're going to do so much more stuff. So for me, I would personally put a higher growth rate for Facebook. But I could be totally wrong, right? I could be totally wrong. But right now, later I'm going to show you that, hey, how you can even be wrong but still make money, right? But right now, I would actually increase their growth rate to about, for me, it was 30%. It was 30%. But when we could be conservative, feel free to put 25% and whatnot, right? Yes, growth rate, earnings per share of the growth rate, right? Please go back one more slide. This one. Is it okay? Is this the slide, guys? Okay, Jasmine says okay. All right, so this is what I'm going to do about for Facebook. All right, and yeah, so yeah, it really depends on your TC or the company, how strong you think. But if it's not as strong, you can put it at 22.59. But for me, I'll put it as high as 30. Right. For Google, I'll put it about 25% as well. Right. So very easily, like Google, very easily sure I can see whether it's overvalued or not. Right. Is I can see this number. Right. If I put 30. Right, obviously right now it's undervalued, man. So I love Google. I don't mind investing in it, and I'll be fine to own Google, right? Anyway, yeah. So you see, it went down 1,000, right? Whew. Okay, all good, huh? Okay, all right. We are at the not say the last stretch yet, lah, but this is a very dry area, right? So just do it, man. Okay, so everyone okay so far? Let me type yes if you guys are okay to keep going, right? I know it's pretty dry, right? I know it's okay. Yao says yes. Go on. Oh, Jerry, Ching Ching says okay. Upload. Shavers keep asking, keep going. Good. Okay. All right. Never sell the Zlat. Never sell the Zlat. Yeah. So question is, hey, right now I'm gonna have a quick. Let's have a discussion, right, for the soccer guys, right? Actually, I watch Arsenal. I watch Arsenal, right? So that's the thing. But anyway, discuss when to sell. Right. So when would you actually want to sell Zlatan Ibrahimovic? I know he's somewhere else already, right? But when would you sell Zlatan Ibrahimovic? For what reasons, right? Let me know in your comments. Like for those who are not in sports, feel free to answer. And Lynette, if you're listening to this, you should be answering as well. Right? So Arsenal, right? So when do you think you'll sell Ibrahimovic? What trend? I'm talking about soccer, bro. When he's not performing, yeah? When he's not performing? Over a long period of time, right? When he doesn't perform in one match, we're not going to sell him straight away, right? Over a long period of time. When his ego gets bigger, when his performance drops, right? Bidding, right? When better players emerge, Jaws very good. When other players are better. Yeah, Leonard, I'll talk more about valuation later, right? Remind me to talk more about which valuation method to choose later, in case I forget, for Q&A later, okay? Leonard, remember, right? Lynette, I don't even know who he is. Okay. no worries. Watch. Use data to track players. When he began to drop from his peak. Yeah, for sure. So similarly, right, this is the kind of question you should ask when you should sell a particular company. Right? We can sell him for freaking expensive. We can sell him for $1 billion. Even Zlatan Ibrahimovic is damn good, right? You can sell for $1 billion, right? It's fine, right? So these are some of the questions you can ask yourself. And same thing, when do you buy? When do you sell a company? When you need the money, when you need to buy other players that might be good as well, right? When the fundamentals of the company change, right? When the players stops playing as well as he should, over a long period of time, right? When a better opportunity seemingly better themselves, right? So I would would I sell Ibrahimovic to buy? Right now, who are the good players? I haven't followed in a long time. Arsenal became now I stopped watching for a while. Sorry guys, right? If I'm going to buy somebody else like Diabra, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Diabra, okay, right? Mbappe, right? So I don't mind, man, right? Because they're younger, they're higher growth and all. I buy Salah for sure, right? So I know Nanda's a Liverpool fan, right? So something note, right, when you sell. But I remember when it's excessively overvalued, when it's super freaking overvalued, I don't mind selling off the company as well, right? And so, right, the question is, when do we... Okay, so firstly, I will talk about valuation, right? So I think Leonard asked just now is, the question is, which valuation method do I choose and everything, right? First and foremost is when you first start out, right, feel free to use all three valuation methods, all right? Right? So help me type in the comments, right? I want you guys to understand, right? It's okay to use all three valuation methods. Help me type, it's okay to use all three valuation methods. Right, all three, yeah. You can use all three first, initially when you first start out. Right? And why is it okay to use all three? Is because ultimately, you actually can start practicing first, right? You can start practicing, but obviously, right, there's going to be some companies that is going to make no sense if you value a company using all the methods. So for example, Facebook, right, if you're going to use a book, you're going to use the asset value, right? You're going to use dividends, right? They don't have dividends. So you know that you can't even value it. Right, so Gary, eventually, right, you're going to, typically, there's only going to be one method that is going to make the most sense, right? You can just choose whatever shows the highest, right? So it's okay to use all three for calculation, okay, remember guys? But ultimately, you're going to know through your practice, through your valuation, through a while, practice, you're going to know which method is going to suit the company, right? So obviously a company like McDonald's, I wouldn't want to use growth, right, for McDonald's. I think it's grown big enough. I'm going to use for McDonald's probably a dividend company. Right, a dividend company, right? For a company like Facebook, I know they're not even giving dividends. Obviously, you're going to be in growth, right? No, you do not use the average of all three methods, right? You do not use the average over, right? Yeah, you must have conviction first. Remember, price is the last thing you look at, right? Price, it hardly where a company can match all three methods. But I'm thinking for calculation, everything, you can get started on it first, right? You can get started on it first. So a company like let me ask you, for Tesla, what method do you think you will use for Tesla? Let me see. PG for sure, man, use growth, right? But obviously, Tesla is like the earnings right now is a bit iffy. I'm going to share with you more later, right? Negative EPS, yeah, for sure, man. Okay, for a company like Coke, which one will you use for Coke? PE, yes, you can use. If not, you can use dividend, right? Yeah, you guys got it. You can use dividend, right? For a company like Apple, which company do you use right now? Which one do you use? Apple. Yeah, you guys got it, growth, right? So after a while, value investing. But after a while, we're going to generally know which one do we have to use it more for, right? We're going to know which one we're going to use it more for, and this is going to be methods. And so now, next, hey guys, what about stocks like Tesla, Amazon, right? Even big, smaller companies like Zscaler, right? Even like Peloton, right? So right now, a lot of people are asking, right, how do I find out all these companies, right? So what I shared, right, in the first 3 quarters of the session, right, is generally for companies that already have established some sort of earnings, they have already some sort of moat, some sort of economic stuff already going on, right? Generally, Vera, they don't buy Coke lah. They don't have to buy Coke. You can actually try growth method, but I don't think it's worth that much right now. But yeah, Coke, then you don't have to do it, right? If it drops a lot, I'll be more happy to buy Coke. Okay, Vera? Right, so what about companies like Tesla, Amazon and everything, right? And I'm not even talking about this huge, it's when they first started, right? When they first started, yes, Vera, we use dividend, right? We do not try to match the method, the valuation to the company. If the company is overvalued, right? Just find another company, right? So we'll put this in what you call a watch list. I'll share more about it later, right? So Coke, right now, if it's overvalued based on dividend, then don't try to touch it, right? Okay, so what about stocks like Tesla and Amazon? For Coke, you can use P ratio as well, right? So you look at the past P ratios and everything, right? Very quickly. Okay, so what about Tesla, Amazon for small tech companies, right? So obviously the earnings are not that great. We don't use personally, I don't use PS ratio, right? I use PE ratio, right? And so this is a lot more trickier. So for higher growth companies, right? So this is for growth investing, right? Typically for growth investing, right? Like the really hyper growth companies, right? A lot of them actually don't have the moat. Tesla 5 years ago, they didn't really have a strong moat then, like 5-6 years ago, right? And what they had to focus on was a lot more growth instead of the value focusing on their competitive advantage, right? They didn't really have it at that point of time, but they could grow a lot more. So the question is, how do we find growth companies? How do we find companies? So right now, like my PG, yes, is a growth method, but it's still for companies that have some competitive advantage like Facebook, like Google and all. But how do we find the gems even before people can benefit them, right? So something to note for growth investing, right, is firstly your level of conviction must be freaking way higher. It must be way higher. You must study a lot more of the company, right? That's one thing. Your level of conviction must be much higher because why? It's going to be so freaking volatile. It's going to be extremely volatile, right? That's one thing to know as well, right? Next, right? You must be willing to face greater volatility, right? And you must be able to, your heart must be able to take it. Yeah, Eugene, you got it, right? PAR, SE, all this, right? And next, you must study a lot deeper into the company, right? And must be a lot more aware of company updates, right? So this one is something, right, I could say that it's a lot more tricky, right? Value investing, I feel that it's very simple, it's very easy. But if you want to go for the more higher growth kind of investing, I think some of you guys might have heard of it, right? A person that I really learned from is this guy called Kevin, right? Kevin. So if you want, you can check out the preview, right? I'm not an affiliate of Growth Investing Mastery. I've just learned from there. I just like Kevin a lot. You can check it out, right? There's a free webinar. Gives you a quick intro, right, about growth investing and all. But one thing to note is that we look at a lot more different areas like operating leverage, EV over EBIT ratio and everything. So that one I can't go so much deep. So what I'm talking about mostly is value investing. And I feel that if you want to start off with that, you can definitely start off with that first, right? But if you want to go a lot deeper, right, there's something that you can consider, right? But it's not compulsory and all, but if you want, you can take a photo of this, you can check him out, right? You can check his blog, he has some good stuff, right? And he's the best person to go to me, when it comes to growth investing, right? So this one, we don't use traditional methods like P ratio, we don't use traditional methods like PG and all. We actually start looking at other areas, right? Like EV, EBIT, and SaaS model and whatnot already. Okay? Right, so that's my quick commentary on growth investing, because it's a space that even right now, I am improving at the moment. All right. Okay. Right. So next I'm going to this thing called portfolio management. Can everybody type portfolio? Portfolio. Right. Portfolio, yeah. Okay. And portfolio is freaking important, right? Because your stock picking can be good, even if it's bad, right? If you're right portfolio management, you know you can still do well over the long run, right? So I'm going to give you some techniques, some strategies, right? And then I'm going to share a bit later about what I would do if I start from scratch, right? So firstly, I would try to manage my portfolio as if like it's a soccer team, right? And of course, there's going to be a mix of defenders, a goalkeeper, strikers, and midfielder. Right, so that's just one thing to note, right? I use Arsenal. I know Rash uses a menu for this thing, right? And yeah, so there's going to be defenders, there's going to be strikers, there's going to be midfielders, right? And firstly, right, one thing I know is I always have a cash allocation, right? So I always base my portfolio based on the amount of cash that I have, right? Based on the market, how expensive it is right now. And right now, I'm still about 50% cash, right? I think the P right now is about 20 plus, right? About 22, 23. Still slightly not that cheap, right? So I'll still put about 50% right now. And how can you do it? Is just go to valuation of the company, right? And you can see what's the S&P 500 price to earnings ratio, right? I'll just show very quickly, right? So for example, this one, right? Go to valuation. Like, oh, I realized they stopped showing the market, man. They stopped showing it. Okay, let me try something else. Oh, I really stopped it. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Okay. Guess what? You know what? I will share with you guys on Facebook, right? I'll share with you guys on Facebook, okay? On how do you find a valuation of the overall market right now, okay? All right, so let me just quickly go back. All right. Yeah, so this is the P ratio of S&P 500. Okay, right. So very quickly, right? All right, I'm going to share a bit about what I do. So when I talk about this, right? For me, if I want to start out, right? If I want to start out, my personal recommendation, you can don't do it if you want, it's up to you, right? It's actually to invest in a company, firstly, of course, with a confidence of at least a score of 8, right? At least a score of 8. But you can start off with companies that you feel that are going to be super big and very like too big to fail, right? So for me, even a company like Google, right? I feel like it's as if it's an ETF already. So you can either invest in ETF, you can invest in a big ass company which is very diversified on its own, right? And it's a company that you know that even if it drops by 20, 30, 40%, right, you're actually totally fine, right? That's my personal take, right? So ETS is one, right? If you like ETS, or a company like Google, right? And Facebook is something like I would call a defensive midfielder. So that's overall. So all this is more of an art. It's more of a instead of a science, right? But my take is if you want to go for the risky companies, the hyper growth company like Peloton, all those, please do it with a smaller portion of a portfolio. All right. Ming Chun, it could be potentially possible, but I always want to be slightly vested in the market. So that's just a guideline. Ming Chun, that's a good question. Yeah. So the first guideline is I want to split into 3 entries, right? So when there's companies that I like, right, the companies that I like, right, typically, right, if you have a small portfolio, you can split into 2 entries when you first start, right? But one thing is you must grow your income. Later, I'll share more. I'm going to share a step-by-step of what I will do at the start from scratch, right? But what I'll do, right, is let's say I want to invest $5,000 into one stock right now, right? I won't invest the full $5,000. And this is the most important thing that I feel that a lot of investors don't do, right? We have been telling investors for a long time to do this, but a lot of people don't do it. Right? Which is that when you first buy a stock, right, you're supposed to put in your first tranche first. And only if it drops about 10 to 20%, for me, I prefer 15 to 20% at least, then you buy one more tranche, you can buy more, right? And if it drops again, then you can buy one more time, right? And so that's your full tranche of it. And then after that, you don't touch it. If it goes down further, right, try to investigate why is it going down further and everything. But I feel that it's totally fine, you can go up. Right? So that's just one thing to please remember, like take a photo of this. Please remember that, hey, please split your portfolio entry into 3 entries, right? That'd be so freaking important, right? 3 entries, right? And so I'm going to share this part as well, right? But right now, right? So right now, I think I'm going to go for a small break first, right? I know we have covered a lot, right? But are you all learning something good so far, right? Can I just check? Are you guys learning something good so far? Says yes. Good refresher. That's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Hey, really, like the guy that if you're new right now, trust me, the things that you're going to learn here, right? It's going to be like so freaking worth it, man. Like you got to use it, you got to implement it, right? Like I don't know if some of you like understand the power of what I've been sharing, right? That I've been doing, right? But hey, you got to use it, man. Okay. All right, my pleasure, Christopher. Like I'm damn happy to help, right? Especially during such a time, right? And so, like so what I'm gonna do, right, before the break starts, right, is I'm gonna invite one of my friends over, right, to actually do a sharing. So actually, what I'm doing right now is I do want to share, I want to give value for sure. But remember that ultimately is we are blessing to give, right? It's the best to give. And what I want to do, right, is I'm going to invite my friend over actually to share with you a bit about the fundraising initiative that I'm doing, right? So it's completely optional, but can I just invite King Ling to just share? Can you just type King Ling, I need to invite you to the sharing, right? Just to share a bit about the fundraising thing that I want to do, and then we'll start getting going. So King Ling, I need to find you in the chat right now. King Ling, I think some of you know her, right? King Ling, can you type what's your name?
Yeah.
She's not around, then xiao liao, then no need.
No, I think you're not.
Right. And so, King Ling, right? Is she there? You can hear her talk. Can you share screen, King Ling? Can you share your screen?
Yeah. Figure out how to do this.
Sure. At the bottom, there's a screen called she's a forest with a road picture. Your name so fun. So what I do is I have King Ling to share just a bit about the briefing on your video, King Ling, so they can see you, man.
Don't I look so at home?
Okay lah. So I'll take a few minutes, right? Then after that, obviously I'm going to give I'm going to give some bonuses, right? If you're going to do the fundraising, and like I don't get anything out of this, so King Ling can take it away, right?
Okay, okay. So today, I think really, hey, can y'all see my screen? My screen is the project. Oh yeah, can. Okay, so I think first and foremost, really very thank you, Marc, for this sharing today. I mean, I participated like half of these, then I also found it very useful and very like refreshing to to think about the concepts again. Yeah. So actually, my name is King Ling. I'm a social worker from Shine. Yeah. So I manage this project called Spooner Road. And I think I was very glad when Marc texted me and said that, he wanted to do this workshop and eventually fundraise for my project. Yeah. So so I'm here to give you a background of what we do, and if in this fundraising, what will the money go to? Yeah, so if you look in this screen, right, Spooner Road is these 2 blocks here. Yeah, so the history of Spooner Road is that we used to be beside the railway track. I'm not sure how many of us really actually remember that there's a railway track that goes from Tanjong Pagar all the way to JB, and now it's no longer there. Yeah, so these 2 blocks used to be the quarters where the people who used to, the quarters for people who work there. Yeah, so when Singapore took back the land, these 2 blocks are like transformed into like interim rental housing as well as public rental housing. So now if you go to CNA, you can actually see this video called Don't Call Us Poor. It's also a documentary of one of the families who live in Spooner Road. Yeah, so what happens in Spooner Road is that there are a variety of people staying there who are very low income. We have families who have big families with many children. We also have middle-aged elderly who don't have any children who are living alone. Yeah, therefore, during this COVID period, it becomes quite challenging for them. Yeah, because these 2 months, actually, initially they thought that circuit breaker is going to be 1 month. So I think there was still, it was challenging already lah. But I think now that it's extended into 2 months, right, the loss of employment and income is a huge hit for the family, especially for families who have to buy milk powder or have to buy diapers for the young children. Yeah, because a lot of them work in like service sector or like cleaning. Some work in like school for as a vendor, like hawker. Yeah, so now that business is affected, yeah, they also have lesser income. Yeah, so for example, in terms of like for cleaning, they have reduced shifts, so they can only work 1 day. So they need to work 1 day, rest 1 day, work 1 day, rest 1 day. So the income has been reduced a lot lah. Yeah, and a lot of them, they are also high risk because they are in terms of age, they are also quite old when it comes to working. So when they go out to work, the exposure to COVID also render them like a lot more vulnerable. Yeah. So another thing is that, when we stay at home, right, for this past 1 month, we already feel like very, very sian already, like have to see our like family all the time or have to be confined to a space. Yeah. But when it comes to a rental flat, right, the space is even smaller. Yeah. Therefore, it's very unconducive environment to be in. Yeah. So I always tell my friends about this. Like, their space is so small. So it's really very hot. Yeah. So because, we are not prepared for this circuit breaker. Yeah. Then it also make their emotion become very hot. Yeah. Therefore, there are a lot of quarrels and like conflicts take place during this period of time. Yeah. Because everybody is just very hot, both emotionally as well as physically. Yeah. So it's really a very small space and no space for them to decompress. Yeah. It's not like, when we are affected, then we can close our room door, then we can be away from our family. Yeah. But in this case, it's like even if they're not happy, there are still like 5-6 people in the same room, in the same house. So for us, another thing is that we also see that the children growth are affected because they're unable to go to school. Yeah, because government try to prevent closing of schools, but eventually really cannot, so have to close the school. Yeah, so for a lot of children, they can still do home-based learning. Yeah, but for our children, in terms of growth, right, their parents are like very hard for them to keep up with the home-based learning. Yeah, imagine at home you have to do the household chores, you have to do food planning, you have to cook. Yeah, so it's very hard to focus on the children's education and growth. And another thing we saw also, like, youth have no space to hang out. Because therefore we also know that a lot of them also break the circuit breaker rule. So even though cannot go out, right, but in the evening they will still cycle out to hang out like outside. Yeah, because it's really like very like suffocating at home. Yeah. So I think the money that raised through this thing will be, these are the strategies that we'll be using to support the family, really, is to buy more fans to cool the house down. Yeah. I think at the same time, when we buy more fans, the electricity bills will also go up. Yeah, but we also know that in these 2 months or 3 months, the government has been putting in more money to help to defer the cost of electricity bills. Yeah, and we know that this month is Ramadan, therefore, it's very hard for them to be in this festive period because there's no additional cash to, in a sense, like buy new clothes and things like that. So we want to provide some kind of like deco lights to actually liven up the house a little bit during this period. Yeah. Another thing that we are also talking about is like grocery vouchers to tide over them this period. Yeah. And borrowing tablets for the children's home-based learning. Yeah.
I know that there are
Yeah. Then okay, then no more. Yeah. So Mark, back to you. Yeah. Or if you have any questions, you can PM me.
Okay. So, right, everyone okay with the sharing, right? So, very quickly, right, let me just share my slides right now for you guys, right? Just need to get something out first. Yeah, so like for me, right, I've actually mixed around some of the kids myself, and yeah, so the thing is, they do have challenges, right? But obviously, that there are a lot in terms of education, they still need it, and I definitely feel that education is so freaking important for them, it's so freaking key and stuff that we need for them, right? And so, like, what I'm gonna do, right? What I'm gonna do is, hey, if you donate, obviously, I'm gonna have some bonuses lah, right? So like I said, if you're in marketing, right, like you're in NLA, you're learning about marketing, right? It's all about, to me, it's definitely all about offer, right? It's all about creating an offer, right? So in ClickFunnels style, man, I'm going to just offer some stuff, right? If you do fundraise through me, okay? Hold on, let me just share my slides right now, right? Okay, right? So how it's going to work, right, is you're going to pay now me, right? Because we're on track, right? And I mean, if you feel that I'm going to invest the money, then you don't have to, right? But for you, what I'm going to do, I'm going to collect all the amount of money, and then I'm going to start, and then I will just transfer to Kingling through them at one shot, right? I think it's way easier, and I do want to track the amount, man, that I've raised, right? I think that's just a note for myself. And also, more importantly, is why it's because for people who donate a certain amount, right, now I'm going to give some bonuses and everything for just to say a thank you, just say a very simple thank you. So fundraising sharing number one, right? So number one, right, is hey, if you donate at least $30, right? It's donate at least $30, right? Is you get the So Kingling, you have a sharing, is it? You have a Google link, is it? Right, the Google, you can go through your link instead.
No. It's just they want to see the link, they want to see the slides.
Oh.
So I just show
okay. No, right. Okay. Yeah. So firstly, right, ATC just donate $30, easy, right? So firstly, I know some people, they might be struggling. Some people might even for yourself, you also need to use the funds for yourself. So I understand. Don't make it such a high barrier. So firstly, you can do it via PayNow or do 9177401, my number, or you can do via PayPal if you're overseas, right? So obviously the fees, I will absorb it and everything. So no worries about that, right? So that's one thing. So if you're doing at least $30, right, in Singapore, right? In Singapore, right? Let's put Singapore, right? Right, you get recordings and slides for this entire training. So that's number one, right? Number two, right? If you are doing at least $60, right, times two, there's a group coaching Zoom session. I'll do a group coaching Zoom session for you guys, right? There'll be a live Q&A, and I'm going to share one additional module, right, which is the management insights, right? So obviously there's no time to share it here, but hey, if you're interested in finding out management insights, I can share a bit more about what I do, but obviously there's going to be some for live Q&A session as well. So they're just $60, right? It's a very humble amount. If you want to invest more, please do so, right? You get this live of 5 top investor reports that I've collected over the past few years, and that's something you can find out the live about some of the best investors around the world. Their life, their backgrounds, their thoughts, their mindset, I'm going to share with you. And of course, you get the recordings and the slides of this training as well. So very simple, right? It's okay lah, the offer, right? I don't think it's that, like even as a purchase, right? I feel it's damn worth it, right? But anyway, thanks, Hero. And the last one, right, donate at least $300, right? One-to-one coaching session with any topic of choice, whether it's marketing, business, investing, affiliate marketing, or just on a chit chat, right? 1 hour, right? I don't want to be seen as I'm selling my time, but I feel that, hey, like a lot of guys I know, mentoring, coaching, we all need some time. But if you donate $300, I will just to say a thank you. I'm just going to give you a one-to-one coaching session with any topic of your choice. All right, so very simple. This is just the offer that I created. It's a very simple offer. I didn't think of it so much, but like just at least is a way for us to get back together. Like for us to even consider investing, right? I feel that we are in a very blessed state, but there's some other people that can't even use the money to pay for the everyday expenses, right? They have challenges with their kids, their family, their lifestyle. And hey, like it's what Resh said, man, like it's always a blessing to be a blessing. All right. So so drop me a DM me if you have donated, do a screenshot or whatnot, right? Let me know. And I'm going to send you a form. You can just register everything. I'll send you all the bonuses from there as well. Okay, is that good? If that's good, let me just type yes if you guys understand, right? Yeah, I'll just take a look, right? You can just DM me. I think the DMing me is important. You want to say yes, right? Anyone else? You understand, right? Clement, it's a very simple offer. You can either do via PayPal if you're overseas, right? If not, you can pay now me, right? And screenshot. I'll send you all the bonuses, and I'll give you more details of group coaching session and whatnot. Okay, receipt.
it's not paid. This is not like a payment. This is a donation, the fundraising, right? And yeah, so what we'll do is next I'll share about what happens to your portfolio. But we'll take a 10-minute break first, okay? We'll take a 10-minute break. We'll get started at 2:40. We'll get started at 2:40.